Hello guys, nice to see you again. RedFrost is here. So in this video, we're gonna play a new game. It's called Ragnarokoriginglobal. So this game is on Android or iOS device. So you can play on your device. But in this case, I just download the PC version. So you can download and play with your PC if you want. Okay, so for this Ragnarok Origin is already open beta at April 6, 2023. So this is an online game, so you can join this game with me. Okay, so first thing first, we can create our characters, either male or female character, and for this time I will choose the male character. And you have 9 style of hair, and you can change the hair colors too, and you have 6 style for the eye, and of course you can change the eye colors too. And for this character creation, I will just skip this part so you won't have a long time seeing me creating my character. Okay, so I decided to use this hairstyle, Mysterious Man X, and cool eye, all red, and then we start the game. So first things first, I apologize for the sound. So basically I decided to just cut off the sound because there are a lot of songs, so I don't want to get a copyright for this game. So basically I turn off all the sound so you won't hear any either background music or the character sound. Okay, so the first part we have a cutscene about our new adventure. If you already played Ragnarok before, so basically this is almost the same with the Ragnarok PC in what, 1990. So I forget about the years, but basically this is almost the same, but this is the device or a mobile version. Okay, so for the first time, I apologize about the screen. So basically I played on a widescreen monitor. So basically after I edit this video, you will see it will be cut off. So I will just show you, or I will guide you with my voice what is it about. Okay, for the first one, we need to talk to Sparky. Basically, she is our guide for the novice. We always start with a novice job. And the next one, we need to enter our name. So you can basically, there's a button that randomize your name if you want, or if you have a nickname you can choose it. At first I chose Leon as my in-game nickname, but it's basically already chosen by another player. So instead of Leon, I chose Leonhard. Okay, so the next one, we need to go into the orientation gift. And because of this widescreen monitor, you cannot see the left part or the right part of the game. So basically on the left side of this game, you have a box that is everything about the quest. So you only need to click that one and your character basically will be moving automatically. For example, just like this one, I only need to click the button on the left and my character just go into the next quest. Okay, so the next one, we need to talk with Sansa. Okay, so for this one, Sansa will give us a backpack for our character. And another cutscene. This is actually quite a funny cutscene. Basically, we are not only get a backpack, but we will get a new guide. Okay, so this open up a new feature. It's called backpack. Okay, the next one, lunatic guide. So basically, this animal will be our guide for later. If you pay attention to the story, basically this lunatic guide always messing around with a new novice. So in this case we have a new adventurer, so that is us, and the lunatic guide always messing around with a new adventurer. Okay, so you can read the storyline, but basically I will give you a little bit information about this game. If you haven't played the Ragnarok, basically this Ragnarok will have a 6 job at first. The first job will be you can become a swordsman, acolyte, a wizard, and you have archer, merchant, and thief. So that's the 6 first job. Each of the job will have a different ability, or you have a different skill. If you don't know about this job, you can search for the information first, but basically if you choose to become a swordsman, they are specialized in a sword, using sword and lance. So that will be a melee fighter, so it's a close range fighter. And for the archer, of course, it will be the long range, because you will use bow and arrow, and you will have a falcon or a bird that will accompany you in your adventurer, and you have a skill with bird once you become a hunter, so that's quite cool too. For mages, of course, we are using magic, so if you want to use magic, you can become mage. Thief will be for assassin, so they use dagger, and when they turn into assassin, you can use katar, or you can put 2 dagger for both hands, so the right hand and the left hand. Basically, the assassin is the only character that use 2 weapons, both on the right side or the left side. But for the knight, if you use lance or a great sword or something like that, that's basically 1 weapon, but you use both hands, so it's like 2-handed weapon. I will give you an in-depth guide basically about all the job, but for now I will become swordsman for this character. If you have difficulty choosing one, and if you want to just play this game with a simple way, I recommend it. If you want to become a knight, that's because the knight will be, for my opinion, will be the simplest one, because the knight will have a lot of SP. So from all 6 jobs, the knight will have the most SP, but later there will be a job that have more HP, that's called Crusader or Paladin, but that's not implemented yet for now. Okay, so for this task, basically there are a lot of quests in here. The first one, we can take a picture or selfie of our character, just like you see. Okay, so for this job and the status, I will give you an in-depth guide for later. Basically, you can choose from the 6 job that I already said. If you want to play support, if you want to heal another character, you can become acolyte and later you will become priest. If you want to play magic, you can become mage and then become wizard. For merchant, basically a job that require a lot of money but can get you a lot of money too. So if you don't like to spend a lot of money, in-game money actually, so I'm not recommended that you become a merchant. Thief will be for speed, so basically usually when people using assassin, they play it with the attack speed and they have a high flee rate, so basically when you hit by the monster, they have a really high dodge rate. For the last one will be archer. Archer will be using the long range, so their advantage because of the long range, you can kill the enemy before they can get into you. And for the build, so there are a lot of build in this case. For example, if you play as a knight, you can use your attack speed build, so you can use your blade and or sword in order to have a high attack speed. But the second build will be a skill build, so basically you have a skill, and if you try to become a skill build, you can spam your skill. So instead of using your basic attack and your attack speed, you can use your skill. Okay, so we are back into the storyline. For this first, okay, so this is just as an example about the sound, so I chose to turn off my sound because of like this. If you have a sound on, basically in here we have background music just like this jukebox. The title of this song is Wanna Be Free. This is a good song. If you already played Ragnarok before, that's a good background music. And I just don't want to take chances about this copyright system from YouTube, so I'm just turning it off. Okay, so in the storyline, basically this is just we talk with Anderson and he will give you a history about the world. This is the story about the world, about Odin and Valkyrie. And basically the Odin saved Midgard continent and defeated the Demon Lord. Waiting for the chances. So, and the next one we can ask for the history of the academy, about the Noxious Academy. The Noxious Academy is basically from the kingdom, and it's their job to have a job guild to learn more powerful skill based on their status. Okay, so for the status, basically you have 6 status. It's called STR, AG, or Strength, Agility, Dexterity, Vitality, Intelligence, and Luck. That's all the 6 status, and this is essential for your build. For example, if you want to have using the attack speed build, you need to increase your agility, of course. That's because the agility will increase your attack speed, but not your movement speed, if you're wondering. So for the most movement speed will be different. Strength, of course, if you increase it, you will have a higher damage for a melee attack. So if you become swordsman or knight and thief, strength will be essential for this build, because if you have a high strength, you have a high damage. For dexterity, basically it will increase your hit rate. So if you have low dexterity, basically your hit will be keep missing. So you want to pay attention about your dexterity. And for archer, the dexterity will be a vital part for archer. That's because the higher your dexterity, you will have a higher damage for long range attack. So instead of using strength, archer will be using dexterity to increase their attack damage. So you need, this is the example why this is really important about your status. If you play as archer and you put all of your status on strength, that's not gonna be wise. That's because if you put all of your strength, the damage from the bow or a long range attack damage will be not get higher, even though you increase your strength. That's because the strength will be for the melee weapon. And for mages or wizard that using intelligence, if you put strength, basically it's useless. That's because most of the time when you play as a mage, you will use magic, and the damage from the magic part will be from intelligence. So you want to increase the intelligence a lot. And of course for the intelligence, it will increase your magic attack damage. And okay, so this is the part for the status. You can pause the game. As you can see, we have STR, AG, Fit, Intelligence, Dex, and Luck. You can pause this video if you want to see it, but this is what I said about the status. Intelligence will increase your magic attack, so it's vital for acolyte like priest. That's because acolyte and priest using skill that magic base. But even if it's a support magic like heal, it will be intelligent that will basically if you have a really high intelligence, your heal will be higher. And for mage, if you have a high intelligence, your damage from the magic skill will be higher. And for assassin and knight or swordsman and thief, because they use a melee weapon or a short range weapon, you need the STR or strength in order to higher your attack damage. For agility, the more you have agility, basically your character will have more attack speed and dodge rate or flee. So basically the higher the agility, the enemy that hit you using basic attack, they will have a hard time to hit you, or basically they always miss the hit. And dexterity and luck, I already told you about dexterity. Dexterity will have the hit rate, so you need, if you play as swordsman and thief, you need some dexterity in my opinion, so your hit won't get missed. If you have low dexterity and the enemy have a high agility, you will miss a lot, and that's not comfortable. For the luck part, it's actually a little bit interesting. The luck part basically increase your attack, either melee or actually all of it. From melee, long range, and magic attack, luck will increase it, but it's low. For example, in this case, one strength will increase one attack and one dex will increase one attack for long range weapon. For luck, every 3 luck you will increase 1 for everything. So basically, for if you increase 3 luck, it will increase 1 attack for melee, long range, and magic attack. So that's it for the status. You can decide how to build your character. Of course, you need to decide the job first. In this case, for example, I decided to use strike and dex because I want to become a swordsman and a knight. If you plan to use the attack speed or using a basic attack and using the attack speed, so you need to increase your agility too. If you want to play a skill like spamming the skill, then sometimes people don't need to increase their agility. That's because even though you increase your agility, it doesn't mean that your skill will be faster. But some skill have a agility base, so if you have a high attack speed, some skill, not all of them, will have a faster cooldown. For example, for a knight, there is a skill called Pierce, and the more attack speed you have, the more and you will can spam it faster. But for the other skill, basically they are using a cooldown system, so you cannot just spam it, you need to see the cooldown. And one more thing, dexterity lower the cooldown of your skill. So yes, the cooldown and the casting time. If you play as a mage, and the skill for the magic, you need to cast the magic, so in order to decrease the casting time, you need a lot of dexterity. Well, basically there are a lot of things that you can use to make your character stronger, just like your equipment and your weapon, but the status of your character will be essential for you, for your build. Everyone will have a different build, and I will just show you Leonhard build. In the future, I will use the skill knight, so I will become a knight and using a skill, and I will use the spear build, so I'm using spear. Okay, so I think that's quite enough explanation about the build of the character. If you want to play as a mage, that's a lot of skill. If you want to play as a priest, you can do it too. If you want to play a character that's quite simple, I recommend it the knight, of course. While the best for grinding, for killing the enemy, maybe the mage and archer, so you can check them if you want to become an archer or mage. For assassin, that's really good, but basically you need to spend money. If in my opinion, if you want to, you can spend money, you can to buy a diamond and make your character stronger. And assassin and merchant, or the blacksmith, merchant will become blacksmith. Those two jobs will actually better if you spend more money. Well, basically all characters you can spend money if you want, but for me I will play without spending any money, so I'm just a F2P player. So if you want to play just like me who didn't spend, you can use, basically you can use any job, but the simplest one will be knight for now. Okay, so I said for now, that's because the first job will be like swordman, acolyte, and the other. The second job will be knight, but basically maybe later there are job, it's called the second job, so job 2.2 if we say it. Job 2.2, basically if you don't want to become, for example, if you become a swordsman, and the second job you can become either a knight or paladin or crusader, it's up to you. The difference will be a knight will have a lot of skill that damage, and crusader will have a lot of skill that defense and a little bit of support. For archer, for example, you can become a hunter, or you can become a bard or dancer. Bard or dancer, basically they are a support job. So if you want to become bard, you need to create male character, and if your character female, you will become dancer. For mage, you will become wizard, or you will become sage. So basically you have a lot of options for the second job, and of course after you have a second job you will have a third job, but the third job will be for later. I suggest you decide the second job first, which one do you want. For this is just an example from the knight. After if you choose to become a knight, the third job you will become a lord knight, and there is a skill called spiral pierce that will have a really high damage, and I really want to try it. So if you already played Ragnarok in PC, this is almost the same, not exactly all the same, but it's almost the same. So I really want to try the spear build of Lord Knight. That's because I never use a spear build. Usually I played as mage or archer, or if I become a knight I choose the basic attack build. So I really want to try the skill build of a knight. Okay, so that's it for the instruction about this game. Why I told you about all of these builds? That's because essential for your gameplay or your playstyle. Everyone here will have a different playstyle. Maybe you will become a knight, or maybe you will become a wizard, and everyone will have their own style of gameplay, and you will have your own skill if you want to take it. So before you decide into become something great, it's better if you decide it first for the first time. That's because after you have a really high level of character and you realize that you don't really like your character, it will be a little waste of your time if you don't like your character. So every player will have their own build. If you don't get, like, if you don't decide what you want to do, you can copy my gameplay. But for now I will show you the storyline. I will show you the gameplay later. Okay, so actually this is have a dungeon part. This time we entered the dungeon and we met with the Valkyrie. And for this dungeon, basically we need to walk by ourselves. At the first part I thought about the button on the left part that will automatically move your character, but in the dungeon you need to manually move your character. So for this dungeon it will be a little bit simpler. That's because it's still on the storyline. So I will recap the storyline. Basically this is all of the storyline of this character. Basically you are the heroes and you are the only one who can meet with the Valkyrie. Okay, so this is the battle of the Ragnarok Origin. As you can see, there are like a red box. That's basically the monster attack. So if you can, you need to dodge the box. Okay, so this is for the storyline. Let's make it a little bit easier. After you defeat the enemy, all you need to do is talk with the Valkyrie. And for this part, I think you cannot see the right side. Basically you have two options: freely allocate my stat point and understand. I suggest you choose the understand. That's because if you choose the freely allocate, the game will be automatically increase your status. If you become a swordsman like me, that's okay, but if you become like a mage or archer, that will be a really huge problem. That's because the character, basically they allocate the status into strength the most. So if you become priest or acolyte, mage or archer, that will become a huge problem for you. That's because I don't know if we have a reset status for this game. If it can be reset, that's good, but If it's not, I suggest you just delete the character and start it from scratch. So status will be the most important and your skill will be the second most important. So you need to decide what skill you want to use, what skill you don't need to use. That's because you have limited skill point. So for example, if you turn into a swordsman, you only have 40 skill points, so you can increase for 40 skill. And each skill sometimes we have the maximum of level 10, some of them will be just level 1 and some of them will be level 5 max. So you really need to think about your skill point allocation. If you really want that skill to be as high as possible, so you can use all of your skill and make it into level 10 or level 5. But if you only need to use it level 1, so you don't really need to max the skill. I will show you the skill after I become a swordsman, but for now basically you need to decide it first which one you want to play. If you don't have if you don't have decided yet, you can follow my Leonhard. Okay, so we are back into the storyline. Basically we have 5 tasks in here. As you can see, we already done 3 tasks. There are 2 more tasks. The next one will be the glamorous headgear. So we have basically they give us a gift or a headgear. Grita in here will give us 3 options. Okay, claim now or I want to look around first. So I chose the claim now. Okay, so we have 3 options: student's cap, eggshell, and boring head. It's up to you whether you want to choose each one, but as you can see, I click first. That's because each headgear have a different status. For example, we have defense +6, max HP, and max SP for the student's cap, and for the eggshell, it only increase the defense and magic defense. And for the boring head, we have defense and max XP. So basically for the status, the student's cap will have more. So I chose the student's cap. But if you want to go for a style, as you can see, once I equip the head will be appearing on the character. So if you want to choose about the style, you can choose the other cap, but for me I choose because I want the status. Moving on, this time they want to take a picture with us. So Spraggy basically want us to set the camera. Okay, so we will have a picture with everyone in here. Okay, so this is with the instructor and the receptionist. Moving on, we will have a graduation. Because we met with the Valkyrie, we basically have a faster graduating. Congratulations on graduating. Okay, so we have a lot of gift, and this is we met with the lunatic guide. So basically every adventurer didn't want to have a guide with this lunatic, but in this case our character chose to use him as your guide. So in the future, the lunatic guide will be our guide. Alright, I won't bully you. Okay, so exclusive lunatic guide. So for the next part that I will tell you, basically in this game we have two level, the base level and a job level. So you cannot see it because of my white screen, but basically on the top left corner of the screen we have a base level and job level. What is the difference? The base level will be our character level and the job level will be for the skill. So every time your job increase or the level of your job increase, you will have one more skill point. That's why you need to pay attention to the job levels. The more job level you will have more skill point, but the maximum of the point will be 40. So you, just like before, I already said that you really need to decide about your skill. Okay, so this is the guide about the job review. On the left side I will tell you, because you cannot see it. Basically there are 6 options, just like I said: swordsman, acolyte, mage, thief, merchant and archer. So this is mage. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, this is thief and the job will called assassin. Assassin will be the second job. Merchant will be blacksmith or alchemist, and archer will be hunter, bard or dancer, just like I said. And on the right side they have like a core skill called double strafe, and for the swordsman they can become knight and crusader, and the core skill will be bash, make them break and provoke. Okay, so after you see it, you can learn from that guide and you can decide it. But after you decided, this is the choice. If you haven't decided, then don't continue, because in this part you really need to choose which one you want to become, and I chose as a swordsman. Are you sure? Confirm. Okay, so I already chose with my first job to become a swordsman. Okay, so that's the last part of the test. So basically we done with the first 5 tests, and I think that's it for this part. Basically I already give you all of the information, the basic information about this game. Well, that's it guys. I hope you like this video. Press like if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, so you won't miss any new video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys on the next video.